Here we go.
Are we on?
Maybe.
So no open, no nothing. We're just coming on raw. Is that right?
Would you like an open?
I mean, I'm just kind of like, the things that we do every day. You know what I mean?
Do it again from the top.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Big Brown. Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Kaplan and Crew. It is Friday. But with only me and Big Brown here today, I don't think Alex is here to focus in and show me, show Brown.
Yeah, I'm not showing me. I'm not showing me for that.
Yeah. I just got a text. We jumped in and I'm like, are we on? And my father texted me. He goes, yeah, you're on, Jack. You're on. So we are on. It's Kaplan and Crew. It's Friday. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com, and we're ready to roll. I will just say I'm having a little bit of YouTube confusion today. I can't seem to get onto the YouTube show. Wait a second. Now here I come. And the only reason I ask is because I like to get involved in the live YouTube chat. To start things off today, let me just say this. It's been a hell of a week. Okay. I'm very, very happy that it is Friday and that I have made my way back to San Diego after 3 straight days up in LA. Lakers, Wizards, Kings, Panthers, Lakers, Celtics, late arrival last night to get home. I can tell you that this morning I was in Carmel Valley because when I drove home last night, I went right to Rachel's house rather than come home. And I can see the smoke as I look south from her house in Carmel Valley. I can see the smoke coming up from the fires that are happening down in the Otay area. So I'd love to say this really quick to get started. Yesterday was a kind of a crazy day for all the fires that we've been talking about in LA. Thankfully, nothing is serious here in San Diego, but there was that fire in the La Jolla area on Gilman yesterday. Like if you know that part of town, that could be very dangerous. And for all of our great friends that are down today in the Otay area, down by the border, I've seen the pictures. I've seen the videos. It looks like it's getting bad. Hopefully the firefighters can keep it before it gets to the neighborhoods. So I'll just say this to everybody. If you're down that way, do us a favor and check in on the live YouTube chat and let us know that you and your people and your stuff is all okay. Because I can see Bernard Thompson is in here already today, and he's all proud of the Lakers last night. Hey, I'll say this. I was on the radio yesterday up in LA, and I was calling for the Lakers to win. Dado was on yesterday from Six Score. He broke down how they analyzed the game and why they were taking the Lakers to win. So I bet on the Lakers last night. And Browner, I thought you really nailed it yesterday by saying, hey, national TV game, Celtics coming off of a back-to-back, LeBron wanting to show out, everything else that you said. Lakers put on a performance last night that, frankly, when they beat Washington, no big deal. When they beat Miami with Jimmy Butler, not really a big deal. When they just squeaked by Brooklyn, not impressed. But last night, I don't know what was wrong with Boston, but I'll just say this. The Lakers in fuego last night. Put it this way, Bronny. When you hear that chant, that means the Lakers are either killing somebody, which is pretty rare, or they're getting killed by somebody. Bronny. Everybody wants to see Bronny. I don't know why you guys all want to see him so much. I don't know what you expect from the guy in the closing minutes of a blowout game, but for whatever reason, it's like cult hero status. Everybody wants to see Bronny. So Brown, we got Lakers who won last night. We'll get into a little bit more of that. The coaching decisions that are being made in the NFL right now are incredible. I could not be happier. I've already sent him a text this morning. Could not be happier for Pete Carroll to get the job with the Raiders. And when you think now, Andy Reid, multi-time Super Bowl champion, Jim Harbaugh, been to a Super Bowl, national championship coach, Sean Payton, Super Bowl champion, and a guy who had the New Orleans Saints in championship contention like practically every year. And now you throw in 73-year-old Pete Carroll to the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders got the roster, but they got the coach. And we saw what the Chargers did last year when they got the right coach. I can't wait for more Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh rivalry in the NFL. And I'm so excited about Pete Carroll becoming the head coach of the Raiders. We'll get to that. the weird story that's happening between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the offensive coordinator becoming the head coach. We'll get into all of that. The Dallas Cowboys seem to be on the verge of hiring a head coach. And oh yeah, all of this is in advance of the championship weekend. So we are just getting going. It is Friday. Shout out to Joe Rodriguez and to Maria and to Juliana and to the SD Boltman and G Mellows and David 100 and everybody that I can see in our live YouTube chat. Shout out to you guys. Glad you guys are here. And I am glad to be back down in San Diego. Big Brown, first of all, I'm going to say what's good.
What up?
And secondly, I'm going to say we are all waiting to find out what happened yesterday because all the sports stuff, I'm getting all the sports stuff. I promise you I am. But I'm telling you, I had people hitting me up already this morning on social media saying, can't wait to hear what happened with Browner, the school, the principal, the kid who was saying these mean things to his daughter, the threats, the flu. Fill me in on what happened.
I'm dying with this flu, bruh. It got me. It's getting the best of me. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm here, so I don't want to talk about that because I want to talk about it to get in your mind, and I don't want to speak things into existence. So we here, we dancing. So let's make some moves. Let's talk about the school. But before I do that, I want to preface what I'm about to say next with a caveat. Nothing that I'm about to say has anything to do with the mother of the child who was also involved in the incident. She came up to me after school let out. She apologized to me. She had her daughter apologize to me. I shook the little person's hand. You know, it's one of those situations where being the bigger person needs to happen because it's a child. And the mother was very, remorseful by what had happened. She was embarrassed that her child would speak that way. And so I had no animus toward her or the child, nor should I, because, kids say crazy stuff. Adams Avenue Elementary, to be more specific, John Adams Elementary, okay? I got a problem with y'all. I got a massive problem with y'all. I watch the news all the time. Well, previously, before the pre-election, I watch the news all the time. And you see these incidents at schools. And the first thing you hear people say is, how did this happen here? I now know. The level of ball drop that occurs, and maybe I'm a little overreactive because my child is involved, but the level of ball drop that occurs by the school, I'm shocked we don't have more school incidents. I'm shocked. I'm utterly shocked. The laziness and the lack of, I'm not going to say punishment, but the lack of attention that was given to the situation. I hope it was only given it in that way because they were 5. But we've seen on the news where kindergartner takes weapon to school, shoots classmate or shoots teacher, second grader shoots teacher. So we've seen it. It was embarrassing. The way that they attempted to hide behind the district's rules.
Dude. This just so you know, I mean, I know you're getting ready to rant here. I know this, bro. I know, man. I have seen this, and I don't mean just like firsthand. Browner, I can remember us, Billy Ray and I, back in the day when, when we were really the only thing happening in San Diego, like in terms of radio, you know what I mean? I can, and when radio was really like at its super, highest popularity, I can remember dealing with things like this, not again in my personal life, but like in people's lives. I remember this one kid had one time had a switchblade in his car. And, I don't even remember all the details. Bottom line is keep rolling because you're right. There are all these like rules and things. By the way, what school district is this in? Do you know?
I think it's San Diego Unified.
Okay. The only reason I asked
where the head of the whole organization got fired for banging the people in the office. So great staff. That policy should be ironclad.
So what are you so angry about? What is your disappointment when you talk about their laziness and you talk about hiding behind the rules? What is it you're saying?
So basically what it boils down to is I didn't even want reassurance. All I wanted was some type of acknowledgement that there would be a penalty served for what had occurred. Because this wasn't the first, for the child who made the accusation, because this wasn't the first time.
Wait, you mean the child who made the threat? So the little girl,
yes,
the 5-year-old girl who told your daughter, the 5-year-old girl who told your daughter, or the 5-year-old child, whatever, who told your daughter that the child was going to kill your father. The child said to your daughter, "I'm going to kill your father." Your daughter was very, very, very upset about that.
Yes.
From what I've heard so far, you went to the school yesterday to pick your daughter up, and the mother already knew what was coming, the mother of the other child. So she came up to you and she actually apologized.
Yes.
Before you even spoke to anybody at the school?
No, no. I don't know. See, after the show, I went to the school.
Okay.
I needed to talk to the principal, who said to me, "I'm eating lunch."
By the way, real quick, principal, male or female?
Female.
Black or white?
Hispanic.
Oh, okay. I should have asked, just straight up demographics. All right, hold on a second, everybody. I just want to reset. If you're just getting with us, it's Kaplan and Crew. It's Friday. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. We're getting into all the big sports stories. But we're in the middle of a continuation of what happened yesterday with Browner. If you're just getting here, Friday, it is the Friday, January 24th, in advance of the AFC and NFC Championship game. It is the Friday where head coaches are being hired all over the NFL and craziness is ensuing. Got a lot of stuff we're going to get to, including Padres lose another player because they can't sign anybody because they got no money and they got all kinds of dysfunction. NFL coaches, Pete Carroll, yes, I can't wait to get deeper into this. Games this weekend, can't wait. Last night, Celtics and the Lakers with a huge win. All of these things on the way. But we started yesterday with Browner and his daughter, and a kid in the classroom saying to Browner's daughter, "I'm going to kill your father." So yesterday, you got off the air. You went to the school. You wanted to see the principal. Principal wouldn't see you because that person is eating lunch. Is that right?
Correct.
And then what?
When the message was relayed to me that, she's eating lunch, I said to the receptionist, this is going to, as I'm filling out the complaint, this is going to go one of two ways. Either she's going to stop eating lunch and come out here, and what happened will stay between her and I, or everybody's going to know what happened and the level of job that they did to address my concern. It's up to y'all. And then I kept filling out the sheet. And 5 minutes later, she come walking out. Now, Miss Pena, you got a lot on your plate. I'm not saying that, you're a bad principal, but you did a shitty job right here.
Is this the same woman that a few months ago?
No, I got too many kids. It's a different school.
Okay, got it.
It's a different school.
Mm-hmm.
This is my boys' school. My boys' school's solid. They solid. I ain't got no problem with what's going on there. I'm defending their principal. And here I am now. I got to attack this principal because she don't want to protect my child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand. Again, I wasn't asking for this little girl's mother's name, which I already knew it. I wasn't asking for this little girl's information.
I thought it was just a little child. I didn't know it was a girl.
I wasn't asking for this little person's information.
Yeah.
I wasn't asking for any of that.
Okay, so
and let me get to your point. All I wanted to know was that there would be some type of disciplinary action toward this child.
What did you want to happen? What's the disciplinary child? How do you discipline a 5-year-old for threatening to kill somebody's father? What did you want?
A timeout, maybe? Something? We got nothing.
So did you see the principal?
I talked to the principal face to face for 10, maybe 10, 15 minutes.
And she said, "I can't discipline the child?"
No, she said, "We're going to do an investigation."
Oh.
And then after the investigation was complete, I received a phone call.
Oh, it happened fast.
It's 2 5-year-olds. It ain't that, it ain't no murder scene yet.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't have took that long.
Mm-hmm.
Because my ex-wife, my daughter's mom, went to the school at 8:30 in the morning to address this.
Mm-hmm.
So why did I then have to go there again for you to just get to it?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I understand that they have a lot on their plate. They have a lot of moving parts. And maybe I'm a little overreactionary because it's my child involved in such an incident where I felt like the entire class is in danger. But I didn't think it was handled in the proper way. And like I said, to hide behind district rules.
What are the district rules? District rules for what?
That they can't give out any information about any students regardless, which I wasn't asking for.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't asking for any information. I was just asking, what is the district's policy on punishment for this type of situation, which they couldn't answer because of district rules. So yeah, it was pretty upsetting. I'm gonna put my daughter in karate, and she gonna be going around here looking like Jackie Chan on some of these kids from now on. Okay, Tung Lee in the house. No, bruh. No, I had a conversation with her. It's time to start slapping folks. We ain't playing no games.
Oh man. Oh, dude.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I get it, man. Well, I think so okay, wait a second. So just to conclude this, because I am excited about today and all the sports stuff we're going to get into, and I know you're going to get fired up as well. So what's the end all be all? Like, what's the conclusion? The mom apologized to you, which was very sweet of her.
And again, to her,
yeah,
I take my hat off to her. I thought she handled it with class and as best you could in such a situation where she was embarrassed, because I would have been embarrassed too. If my son went to school or my daughter went to school and said some of those things, I'd be absolutely embarrassed having to go up to a parent and have my child apologize. So hats off to her. She was very respectful and very cordial about the situation.
So what's the end result? The end result is what? Are you still battling with the school, or?
Don't know. They didn't. As far as I know, they didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They didn't, because the mom said, "We'll see you in school tomorrow."
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't do anything.
Yeah. No, it's rough out there. Listen, I know moms and dads. How many times have you seen like videos of a kid, who's been bullied, who's been the victim of being bullied, and 3 or 4 guys, walk up to this kid and they just beat the kid down, and you're like, what is wrong with these children that they would be this way, that they would behave in a violent way? I'll just give you an example. I was watching a video the other day. This was in the New York Post. There was a basketball game in Georgia. I don't know if anybody's seen this video.
God, yeah.
So there's these 2 teams playing against each other, and there's this black kid, big kid, and he looks like he's like an offensive lineman on the football team, and he's like playing center, right?
Right.
And there's a skinny white kid, and the black kid takes the skinny white kid and he throws him to the ground. Well, the skinny white kid gets up, and like in a typical basketball thing, they're going to go face to face. No, but that's just, man to man stuff. This kid stands up and he starts coming at this black kid, and this big black dude went boom and knocked this kid out. Well, here comes another dude rushing off the bench, and he pops him and knocks him down. And I know it's in sports, but these are 16-year-old children in high school. Like, who's professing this violence? And that's just one example. A better example is really like when you see a kid who somebody's capturing video of a kid getting beaten up in school because 4 or 5 bullies are picking on him, and yet no one's doing anything about it. And you hear these terrible stories about the kid who is the victim who commits suicide because nobody protected the child, And so, listen, I don't mean to get all philosophical on everybody today, but it is Browner's kid, and we all know Browner's background, and we all know Browner could snap like this. And we don't want that. So, listen, this comes from home, and I could understand why the mom would be so embarrassed. All right, listen, it's Friday. Let's time out on the personal stuff and let's get into the sports stuff, because there's so much important stuff happening. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and crew. It is Friday, and I'm glad everybody's here. Now, I would like to make a suggestion with everybody. This weekend, Sunday, the prediction is that there's going to be rain in the forecast. And let me just tell you, but hey, we'll take any rain we can get.
That's true.
Because what has happened in LA is brutal. I've been staying in my hotel up in LA, and there's all firefighters in there. And these dudes leave at 5:00 in the morning. And the people who work in the hotel, they're actually coming in early to help the firefighters get out onto the road. And so that's their way of saying, we want to help. So we'll support the firefighters to get them out there. In San Diego, we're already seeing, so again, LA fires, national story. Everybody's seen it. It's horrible. In San Diego, we're already seeing now videos and pictures from people who are great friends, who are listeners, who are down in the Otay area. So down by the border of San Diego and Mexico, where the fires, they look bad, and I say look bad because I've got some buddies that live down there, and they're like showing pictures from their backyard. Like you can see the illumination of the mountains. So to everybody who
Dave Palais put a bunch of stuff out there
too. Yeah, that's
Dave's
pictures are the ones that I'm really following.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at our live YouTube chat. David 100's like, wait a second, I need more on Browner's background. I'll just put it to you this way, David. Brothers from the south side of Chicago, and a lot of bullets were whizzing by when my man was a little kid, and you had to figure out ways to survive.
I'll share the small tidbit with you. I am not afraid to go to jail.
Stop. That's good. David, you're a former cop. You understand what we're dealing with here? Okay. You understand what I'm saying?
That's all. That's all I'll say.
That's all that brother's saying. Okay. I'm seeing JDD Ocampo, who says that the Otay fire is only a few miles away from me. Do us a favor, everybody. Check in today. Tell us, if you're down that way, and if it's
Molly says she's on an evacuation warning.
Miss Molly, I'm on an evacuation warning. Yeah, not having to evacuate yet. I've seen other people say the same thing so far here today.
Ooh.
So, all right. So listen, let me jump in here really quickly. So for me, on Friday, as we go into this championship weekend, I want to suggest to everybody that on Sunday, if you're looking for the spot, you know what I'm going to tell you. It's the Gaslamp Tavern in downtown San Diego. You're going to have back-to-back championship games. Rick Borba's got all the drink specials, the beer specials, incredible food. The Gaslamp Tavern in downtown San Diego is the place to watch the games on Sunday, because not only can you watch the games on Sunday, but now you can go up to Paddock on 5th and you can bet all the horse racing from around the country. And here's one other little thing. I talk about Prize Picks every day. Rick now has these machines. They look like ATMs. They're in the bar, and you can play daily fantasy from an ATM machine inside the bar. I know it sounds crazy. You probably haven't seen these yet. It was new to me. But Rick's got these daily fantasy ATM-looking machines. Daily fantasy, betting horses, watching football, great drink specials, amazing food, Gaslamp Tavern in downtown San Diego. To me, the biggest story of the day in advance of these championship games is what the Raiders have just accomplished. To me, it's incredible. If you think about the Chargers, because a lot of people here, obviously, San Diego background, Charger haters, lovers. When you think about the Chargers, the reason they were so bad for so long is because they had the wrong coach all the time. And when you hire somebody who's a first-time head coach, you got to live with what your decision is, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes that coach is Sean McVay and sometimes that coach is Brandon Staley. Sometimes that coach is Dan Campbell, and we're going to find out what Ben Johnson is. Sometimes Dan Campbell can create offspring that is Aaron Glenn, who's got his own NFL career and resume. We don't know what's going to happen with certain first-time head coaches. So if you're in a situation like the Raiders, where you need organizational stability, Antonio Pierce is not likely to provide you with that. Neither is Gerard Mayo in New England. So then you say, well, I need a guy who can provide organizational stability. Mike Vrabel's been a head coach. Mike Vrabel's part of the history of the organization. We think he can provide that. For the Raiders, Antonio Pierce could not provide that. They thought John Gruden could. That didn't work out.
But that was for other reasons, though. I'll defend Gruden in this. Stay out people's emails.
All I'm saying is that you hired Gruden because of his experience, and it just didn't work out. If ever there was an organization that needed somebody with Pete Carroll's pedigree, with his resume, with his championships at all levels, with his likability, with his energy, with his philosophy of competition, if ever there was an organization that needed Pete Carroll, it's the Raiders. And to me, I'm going to start there. This is Kaplan and crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. All right, everybody. Hey, what's going on? It's Kaplan and Crew. It is Friday. Today is January 24th, and we are headed towards the AFC and NFC championship games. And then once the Super Bowl is set, we'll be in total Super Bowl mode around here. We are headed to New Orleans. We leave on Sunday. I think it's February 2nd, and we will broadcast all week long, Monday through Friday from New Orleans, compliments of our great friends at Prize Picks. And by the way, I've already made my Prize Picks for the NFC Championship game. I've made them for the AFC Championship game. And damn it, I was so close last night. I hate to bet against Austin Reeves, and he got me last night. And I was like one rebound shy of really hitting a big score last night. So I'm all prepped up for the NFC game. I'm all prepped up for the AFC game, and I'm playing all of it on Prize Picks. And to everybody out there who's playing on Prize Picks, share your picks for the games this weekend with me. I know that there's that free Jaden Daniels square, that half a yard passing. That's an easy one. So I'll take that win anytime I can get it. All right, let me go back to where I was. To me, and maybe I'm biased in this situation because I love Pete Carroll. I'm a huge Pete Carroll fan. I have had a relationship with Pete for 20 years, going back to his USC days. And Pete at one time was a graduate assistant coach under Lou Holtz at the University of Arkansas when Billy Ray was a young player. And so Billy Ray's relationship with Pete, then I got to know Pete. And then all these years of covering the NFL for Westwood One, I did a lot of Seattle Seahawks games. And I know I've got this great video that of a pregame where Pete and I are hanging out and we're playing catch on the field, and all the producers are upstairs going, is Kaplan playing catch with Pete Carroll on the field? That's the kind of guy Pete is. If I understand he's 73 years old, and I understand that people think that in the NFL, it's a young coach's game. You know, see Sean McVay, see this kid Liam Cohn that they're hiring in Tampa, which is another whole weird story. Mike Vrabel is a relatively young guy, you know, in his 40s. You don't see 73-year-old guys get head coaching jobs in the NFL. I mean, even Bill Belichick has decided, I want to coach, but there just weren't that many NFL team owners that were that interested in that kind of a guy. Pete Carroll brings a whole different deal. Pete Carroll is about positivity. He's about building people up. He's about everybody competing every single day to get the best out of yourself, best out of your teammate, so that you can create the best team. Pete Carroll has been a champion at the college level. He's been a national champion. He's been a coach who's created and produced Heisman Trophy winners. He then left USC. You can determine for yourself why that was. What he did in Seattle, especially when Russell Wilson was young and he had that incredible defense, the Legion of Boom, getting to the Super Bowl and winning. Getting to the Super Bowl, we all understand how he lost to Belichick and that pass, and he should have given the ball to beast mode on the goal line. But the bottom line is, when Pete Carroll walks through the door at the Raiders, it's a whole different level of credibility than when Antonio Pierce walked through the door. And I'm not trying to knock Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce was adored by his players because he was one of them. Gerard Mayo had a good relationship with his players because he was one of them. But the problem is that these guys didn't have the resume to earn the respect the second they walked through the door. When Pete Carroll walks through the door, every player on that Raider team knows he coached Matt Leinart. He coached Reggie Bush. He coached Carson Palmer. He won national titles at USC. He left. He went to the Seahawks. He had Russell Wilson. He had, Richard Sherman. He had all these star players, and he had beast mode. He won a Super Bowl. He took them back to a Super Bowl. He had them competitive every single year. Pete Carroll walks through the door. The Raiders are instantaneously a completely different team. It does not change the fact that as of right now, they don't have a star quarterback. But just think about this, and I'll put the slide up on the screen for you. Look at the coaches in the AFC West. There's never been a division like this in the history of the NFL. Andy Reid is considered the greatest coach of the generation, following Bill Belichick. Sean Payton's won a Super Bowl and had the New Orleans Saints there every year when Drew Brees was in his prime. Jim Harbaugh has changed the culture at the Chargers, even though it didn't result in much this year. But they won all the games they were supposed to win. They won 11 games. They made it to the postseason. And now you've got another Super Bowl champion quarterback or Super Bowl champion head coach in this division in Pete Carroll. It's going to be the most exciting division. It was already the best division. I know a lot of people might say, no, you're wrong. Look at the NFC East. Look at how Philadelphia is playing Washington. This is damn exciting to have Pete Carroll in the AFC West. Brown, what do you think?
This is the best division when it comes to coaching. It's not even close. It's not even close. You have 3 Hall of Fame coaches and 4 Hall of Fame coaches in the same division. You have three of them are Super Bowl winners. All of them have been to the Super Bowl. 2 of them have national championships. There's enough coaching here to spread out throughout the league. So I think this is now it's a tough lift for Pete. It's a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option, so he's got to turn it around pretty quick. And without a quarterback, I don't really see how you can do that. I don't see him being able to recreate the Legion of Boom with what they already have on the roster. So the front office is going to have to do a lot of work. But I'm excited for the Raiders. I'm excited for Pete. Pete fits that program. He fits that level of energy. He fits the way that they approach the game. So, I think it's a good fit for him. I don't necessarily see his age being a factor. I see his offensive coordinator being a factor. But outside of that, I got a lot of faith. I think that he'll be able to come in and really make his mark really quickly.
You say his offensive coordinator is a factor. Other than Pete being hired by the Raiders, I have not yet read or heard any reporting on his staff. Have you?
No, man, that's what I'm saying. That's why my concerns are in different areas. My concerns are in who is he going to hire, because a lot of good assistants are gobbled up already. There are a lot of people who are already taken, whether it be by the Patriots, whether it be by Chicago. People are filling their vacancies.
Yeah.
So as you fill your vacancies, like the guy down in Jacksonville, unless you got some best friends around the league, how many top-tier guys are you going to get to come and help you coach? Like the Bears getting Dennis Allen to come be the defensive coordinator, that's a huge deal, because that's an actual NFL-level defensive coordinator who was a head coach.
Right. Same in San Francisco. Same in San Francisco. I mean, San Francisco is signing Robert Saleh to be their defensive coordinator, and the reports are that Robert Saleh is going to become the most the highest paid defensive coordinator in the NFL. And I think to myself, why? Like, who is competing with the 49ers to get Robert Saleh that the 49ers have to get him back and pay him that much money? And maybe I'm just missing that in the league itself, they know that they are competing with multiple teams, but I've not been hearing reports about that. But I'll say this, and this is I'll just admit this out loud. I've already texted Pete Carroll and said, Pete, how many years have I been saying to you that Alex Van Pelt should be on your staff? And my boy Van Pelt is an available free agent offensive coordinator who had a team this year with a rotating offensive line, with a rookie quarterback, with a running back that couldn't hold on to the ball, and not one legitimate number 2 or 3 receiver in the NFL. And they still offensively were keeping the Patriots in games. It was the defense that was so pathetic this past year, which is why New England was so bad. I've already gotten into Pete Carroll's ear about my boy Alex Van Pelt. So you're right. They don't have a quarterback yet. I'm thinking that in year 1, what you have to do, and the Raiders don't have, I think they're the number 6 pick overall right now. The Raiders have to find a way to either trade up or maybe, and I'm saying maybe, because here's the thing. I don't think Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, I don't think either guy is Jaden Daniels.
No. And I love Shedeur. Y'all know I love Shedeur. No.
But so I'm not positive that trading up to get Ward or Sanders is worth it for the Raiders. But I know that everybody thinks that Shedeur and the Raiders are like an automatic fit. And Miss Molly is asking, is LV Cap coming soon? Because yes, be prepared. I'm just letting you know right now. This is the greatest thing that could have ever happened in my life. One of my favorite people in the NFL, Pete Carroll, takes over the Raiders. So for everybody that's just joining us, this is Kaplan and Crew on Friday. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, and I was just saying in the last segment that Pete Carroll is one of my favorite players or my favorite coaches in the NFL. And now Pete Carroll taking over the Raiders. I'm an automatic Raider fan right now. Even if my boy Van Pelt isn't on the Raider staff and he goes to some other team, I'm a Raider fan because I always wanted, when the Chargers left San Diego, I said the best thing you could do is become a Rams fan. But for me, I'm still really an AFC fan and an AFC West fan. And so I want to be a Raider fan. I don't want to be a Chiefs fan. I don't want to be a Broncos fan. I want to be a Raiders fan. Now you put my favorite coach on this team in the same division against my hated rival, the Chargers. This is the greatest thing that could. I'm a full-blown Raider fan. I'll go buy Raider gear today.
Oh, this will be a Raider show.
Oh, dude, listen, me and JT the Brick are now synonymous. I'm telling you right now, I love the hire. Yes, he needs a quarterback. Here's a wacky idea for you. Wacky idea. When coaches take over teams that don't have quarterbacks and they're going to draft somebody that's going to eventually be the guy, you got to have a Band-Aid. You got to have a stopgap. Should I say it out loud what I'm thinking, or can everybody?
I think everyone knows. Everyone knows what you're thinking.
I'm not saying he's great.
Not that crazy.
I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's going to lead you to a Super Bowl, and I'm not saying he's got the right Jacoby Brissett kind of attitude where I'm only a Band-Aid. But what if Russell Wilson returns to play for Pete Carroll in the AFC West? And Denver, by the way, the Broncos are paying the Raiders quarterback.
I said this earlier, and I will repeat this again. I don't hate that idea. The only thing would be, did Pete and Russ ever, patch up the way that things ended?
Okay, so
they ran Russ up out of there.
Okay,
and Russ seems to be in a good situation in Pittsburgh for him.
Yeah, but is he back? Wasn't he on a 1-year deal?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Let's say you say no on Russ. Nah, not Russ. What do you think about Sam Darnold? I'm not telling you that Sam Darnold is going to be Justin Herbert money, right. But if Sam Darnold were making Baker Mayfield money, could Sam Darnold sign a 3-year contract with the Raiders? Pete Carroll's got a 3-year with a 4th-year option from the team, and Pete Carroll says, look, Sam Darnold's coming into his prime. He just had the best season of his career. He's an experienced veteran quarterback. We're not going to be able to draft one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks based on our draft position this year. How about Sam Darnold to the Raiders, and the Raiders either draft a future quarterback, which may or may not work out in 2nd round, 3rd round, or the Raiders say, no, here's what we'll do. Sam Darnold, Aiden O'Connell, those are our quarterbacks. Darnold's the starter, and Sam and Sam Darnold and Pete Carroll.
I don't know about that, man. I need to see what they plan on doing in the draft before I would say that. But I mean, that's a viable option. Seeing if Kirk Cousins is available at a discounted rate, that's interesting. Justin Fields also, his contract's up. Daniel Jones' contract is also, I think he's available. No, he's not a 2-year with the Vikings. There are going to be people out there. There's going to be actual serviceable quarterbacks who can come in and help you win games available. But you're going to have to be quick about this, because these names are going to go quick. The guys who we named, either they're going to stay with the teams that they're at, because the Giants are looking for a guy, but the Giants are high up. They might not be high on these 2 guys in the draft either. So when you get a quarterback draft that everybody not bending over backwards to get the number 1 pick, you kind of don't know, and you kind of don't know all around. So did Sam Darnold thing? Maybe.
Kirk Cousins, maybe.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, maybe. I mean, all these veteran
they're
quarterbacks.
available because they're maybes.
Right. But if I had to choose between Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, and Russell Wilson, to be honest with you, I think I'd probably go with Sam Darnold just because of his age.
DJ Axel, Zach Wilson, totally forgot about him. He's available as well.
Zach Wilson can't. No, come on.
But I'm saying these are the people who are available with the organization, with the way that the Jets played out with Aaron Rodgers. I could see people looking at Zach Wilson and go, you know what?
Oh my God.
Might not have been him.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about him. I forgot about him.
Now that might be the best Band-Aid available on the shelf.
Yeah.
If we really, wow. Eureka moment here.
Yeah. How about this? Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson. You put the two, guys back together again, where Zach Wilson was learning from Aaron Rodgers. Disaster. Right.
Teach him something else.
Yeah. To me, listen, I love the story. I absolutely love the story. Pete Carroll is a great guy. He's a champion at every level. He's a winner of a person. And I can't get enough of this. I'm so happy that he went to the Raiders. And now all the jobs are starting to fill up. This situation with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Jacksonville Jaguars is so crazy, bizarre. Man. This guy, Liam Cohen, that people are hearing about, people don't know who he is. I know who he is because I remember him coaching with the Rams and then leaving to go to Kentucky and then coming back to the Rams, I think is how the chronology goes, and then going to Tampa. And now he's one of those guys that touched Sean McVay at some level. And
don't say it like that.
Well, no, what I mean is that, he was part of him. He was, so to me, people don't look at him and say, oh, he's part of that Tampa thing. They look at him and say, he's part of that McVay tree. And the story goes, he goes to Jacksonville, he interviews, they want him. He goes back to Tampa and he goes, I don't want to be your head coach. I'd rather be the offensive coordinator here. I'll be the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league. Thank you anyway. The Jaguars then say, well, you know what? Here's the problem. Our general manager sucks. They fire their general manager. Then they call this kid back. And before he signed his extension with the Buccaneers, he goes back and tells the Bucs, wait, they fired their GM. Now that's a better situation for me. I'm leaving and I'm going to Jacksonville. Bizarre.
Crazy.
But if you looked at this kid, Liam Cohen's resume, you'll see he jumps around all the time. He doesn't stay anywhere. So for him to have left Jacksonville, essentially verbally committed to Tampa Bay, didn't sign, and then goes back to Jacksonville, his resume tells you he jumps all over the place. And I don't really know what the fixation is on the guy. But it's Friday, and it's already a crazy day, at least as we go into the NFL championship weekend. This is Kaplan and Crew. It is Friday. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Hey, this segment of Kaplan and Crew being brought to us by Torrey Holistics. If this weekend you need cannabis for recreation, for pain management, for anxiety, for sleep, whatever the case may be, Torrey Holistics, California Holistics, Oxnard Holistics, and Mammoth Holistics, you save 20% when you spend $75 or more and you use our promo code Kaplan. And I know a lot of you guys already do that. So thank you very much for supporting our partners. And again, it's Friday. So let's get it all hooked up. Speaking of hookups, Browner, just total side note. Did you get your Skims underpants yet?
Yeah, I told y'all I'm coming on the show in my drawers, man.
Yeah. Monday, we start a new sponsorship with Skims, which is Kim Kardashian's underwear company. And now she's got a men's division, and they want to use the show to promote the underpants. I got one problem. One problem.
Did you put them on?
Not yet.
I didn't put them on yet either.
I haven't put them on yet. I'm going to wear them this weekend so I can give you my review on Monday. You know that they're a paying sponsor, so you're going to expect me to tell you how great they are. But I will tell you this in advance. I got one problem with the Skims. You want to see what they are?
They skimpy?
Nope. I got this pair right here. I got this pair of drawers right here. I'm excited to try these things on. They look super comfy. They look supportive for my nutsack. Okay. But you see this pair right here, Brown? See this pair?
Not black.
Okay. Not black. Here's the problem.
Oh, no. Oh, no. What they done to you? Oh, come on, man. Is you a white pair of drawers? Ooh-wee.
I've got to go now on to Skims. They sent me 2 pairs so that I could try them and review them. They sent you some. They sent Alex some. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going on to their website today and buying. I am buying underpants today because brother like me, white underpants, bad deal.
I specifically made sure that I got them in black.
I ordered them in black. I don't know what happened.
Listen,
maybe I screwed up.
That's the spirit. It wasn't under just black. It was like some fancy color that is a different word for black.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I'm glad I didn't open my box to find no white and no brown draws. I'd have been devastated.
No, brown would be good because then I couldn't see it. But white is going to be as pronounced as that's not a good situation for a brother like me.
Nah, man.
All right,
you're on the road too much.
Yeah.
You're on the road too much. I have white underwear, dog. No, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, white underpants for a brother like myself ain't no good, man.
No,
ain't
no good.
I know. And everybody in our live YouTube chat, they just all laughed at the same time like you did.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, lot of NFL stuff to talk about today. We talk about this Pete Carroll situation. We talk about this Liam Cohen situation, which kind of leaves like one thing available, it seems, right now. And that's the Saints. Oh, it's New Orleans. And who am I missing?
The Cowboys.
Well, okay. All right. So the Cowboys, real quick. Reports are today that the Cowboys are about to hire Brian Schottenheimer as their head coach. Now, those are reports. Nothing confirmed as of right this moment. Here's what I think people are going to say about Brian Schottenheimer. This is what I think. Where did he come from? Number one.
Marty.
And he came from Marty. That's a good point. But how long has it been since Brian Schottenheimer has been talked about as an NFL head coach? And by the way, I have an answer just so you know. Because here's why. I went to text Brian Schottenheimer this morning because yet again, I'm playing like pseudo agent for my boy Van Pelt, I go to text Brian Schottenheimer and I see the last time I texted Brian Schottenheimer.
Ooh, how bad are we talking here?
Take a guess. How bad could it be?
So, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna say 4 years.
Okay.
Pre-COVID. I'm gonna say pre-COVID.
It's worse than that. I mean, put it this way: when he gets my text, he's gonna be like, dude, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Pre-COVID. So we're looking at 5 to 6 years.
It's worse than that, man.
Nah, that number ain't even the same no more.
Yeah,
that is the same number.
You may be right. That
number ain't active.
I will tell you this right now. I looked on my phone today to text Brian Schottenheimer under the assumption he was getting the Cowboys job. It hasn't like officially been announced yet, and I'm not 100% sure it's going to happen, but it's been reported. I go to text Brian Schottenheimer today. Here's my last text to Brian Schottenheimer. Hey, Brian, Scott Kaplan, blah, 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 blah. I want to put my boy Alex Van Pelt on your radar. Should you take the St. Louis gig?
Oh, my God.
We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew. All right, everybody, what's going on? It is Friday. Today is January 24th. We're heading towards the AFC and NFC championship games this weekend. Alex Moneyline Monaco coming up later on this hour with his picks this week. And just a reminder that our boy Craig Dato was on yesterday from Sports Injury Central, Six Score, SIC6score.com. Dato yesterday said, if you come to sixscore.com and you buy their picks this weekend, he's got a guaranteed play for you. And if it hits, you're happy because you won a bunch of money. And if it doesn't hit, he returns your money. He refunds your money. And he said that they were 13-3 this year on guaranteed picks. And he has refunded everybody's money every time that they were not right. It's only been 3 of 16 times. So hit up sixscore.com. Moneyline Monaco coming up a little bit later on this hour. Browner, I was saying to you in the last segment that with all these coaching changes happening, Pete Carroll to the Raiders, Liam Cohn now to the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Cowboy job is still theoretically open. I was thinking Coach Prime would take that job, but here's the list. Raiders, Pete Carroll, Jets, Aaron Glenn, Bears, Ben Johnson, Jaguars, Liam Cohn, Patriots, Mike Vrabel, Saints job is available. I still think Mike McCarthy's taking that job.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not positive. I mean, it's just that McCarthy could find himself again out there out of work for a year. Should he want to be?
Or coaching the Cowboys.
You're saying that the Cowboys would go back to Mike McCarthy and go, hey, let's try and work this thing out?
Is this okay? Let me just throw this at people for a second. Do y'all really believe Jerry Jones is past this? When you look around the landscape and it appears that all the positions have dried up for Mike McCarthy when he had options beforehand. And now you're looking around and it's just the Saints open and the Cowboys. And if I'm Mike McCarthy, do I want to coach the Saints or do I want to go back to the Cowboys? It's not past. I don't think it's out of the question for Jerry Jones to create a massive news story by letting the guy go. And they're going, you know what? My bad. I'm joking. Come on back.
Okay, so I don't think that that's completely out of the question at all, given who we're talking about. But hold on.
Right.
The report was earlier today that Brian Schottenheimer was about to be promoted from offensive coordinator of the Cowboys to head coach. Just for anybody that doesn't know this, here's a little bit of background. Mike McCarthy's first NFL job was like a passing game coordinator or quarterback coach. I'd have to really go back into his resume and see what they called it. But that first NFL job for Mike McCarthy was for the Kansas City Chiefs, who was the head coach, Marty Schottenheimer. So Mike's background with Marty goes back 30 years. Brian, because he's Marty's kid and because Mike sort of owes his NFL coaching career in many ways to Marty, Brian, who years ago was a hot offensive coordinator when he was coaching, as I recall, for Pete Carroll in Seattle. I mentioned this to you in the last segment. I was going to text Brian Schottenheimer this morning because I'm trying to play like, unpaid agent for my boy Van Pelt. I went back into my phone to look at the last time I texted Brian Schottenheimer. You said pre-COVID, right?
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat is saying 8 years. Somebody in the chat is saying 5 years. I texted Brian Schottenheimer when he was being considered for the St. Louis Rams head coaching job.
Oh, my goodness.
January 20th. So almost to the day. Today's January 24th. January 20th, 2012.
No, man, you can't text that guy.
13 years is the last time I've texted this guy. 13 years, almost to the day. He was being considered for the St. Louis Rams head coaching job. He's been a coach in the league the entire time under the radar, coordinator for the Cowboys this year under McCarthy. And if you know Jerry Jones, you said it. He'll never work with Deion Sanders because Deion Sanders is going to need some form of control. And you said, ain't no 80-year-old white guy giving up control of his multi-billion-dollar franchise to a young, brash black guy. That's what you said.
Facts. I stand by that 100%. That's the last thing I see happening is Jerry Jones hiring Deion Sanders, even if it gets desperate.
Okay, so if you think about Jerry Jones, he looks at Brian Schottenheimer and he goes, he knows our system, he knows our organization, he knows our personnel, and you know what else Brian Schottenheimer is? Cheap and controllable.
Last word, most important.
Yeah, cheap and controllable. And so if you're Jerry Jones and you're not going to give up anything to a Deion Sanders,
right?
You don't have to give up anything to a Brian Schottenheimer.
Correct. The one thing I will give Jerry Jones credit for, they have good players on their roster. CeeDee Lamb is a top echelon wide receiver. Dexter Lawrence is a great defensive line pass rusher. The kid Micah Parsons, the kid who has a podcast, does more podcasts than sacks, but nevertheless, great young NFL player. They have good players on that team. Somehow, every year when it comes time to actually win, they don't. Again, the Cowboys haven't been to the Super Bowl since 1996. Okay? 96. So all that's under Jerry's watch. And under that watch, Jerry Jones has kept hiring the same type of coach over and over and over and over. So even the Bears, who hired the same guy basically over and over, they made it to the Super Bowl at least. Like, what's happening? I don't know.
Well, I can only say this about Brian Schottenheimer. Comes from a great legacy, has a monster career in terms of, where he played his college ball. Not that he was a star at the University of Florida, and has been a long-time NFL assistant and has been around some really great head coaches. I'm not telling you it's a sexy hire. I'm going to tell you it's probably a very safe hire. I'm not going to tell you it's a championship caliber hire. But I'm interested. I'm curious, just given the career that the guy has had. I'm curious. So can I text Brian Schottenheimer 13 years later today?
No.
Cannot do it.
You have to see him in person at this point.
Okay.
And this is one of them situations where you go, I got your number, right? And he goes, yeah. Oh, and let me double check. You can't text no man 13 years out the blue like that, dog. And unless you have a job for him. Totally different. If you got a job for him, yeah, hit him up. If you the GM, yeah, you should be texting him. If you looking to hook somebody else up, or you looking to chat with him because he's in the news, nah, bro, don't be that guy.
Okay. All right.
Don't be that guy.
Right. Okay. I won't be that guy.
Please don't.
I will not be that guy. Okay. All right. Well, there you go, man. There's a lot of NFL coaching talk, man. It's the hot story today. I will say this, Brown. Last night I was at that Lakers Celtics game up in LA. And before I even talk about it, when I look at Coach Prime over my shoulder, reminder everybody, if you are looking for those new sunglasses this weekend, you can go to the PB store, you can go to the Encinitas store, but I would just suggest going to blenderseyewear.com. Use our promo code Kaplan. You'll save 20%. I get hit up on text all the time by Blenders. Hey, we've got a 30% sale. Great. Go take advantage of that 30% sale and then put Kaplan on top of the 30% and get an even bigger discount. Blenders Eyewear. You're looking for those cool sunglasses, great frames, polarized lenses, super fashionable, really inexpensive, so you can buy multiple pairs. Go for it. If you're looking for goggles for skiing or snowboarding, those are great too because the goggles, the lenses come in and out so easily. It's great. So check them out, blenderseyewear.com, and use the code Kaplan. There you go. So, Brown, what'd you think last night? I mean, I was pretty shocked. I mean, I bet on the Lakers to win because I just figure LeBron's going to come out and give you everything he got last night. Rivalry game. Boston's on the second night of a back-to-back. They're cross-country. 3 guys had sat out the night before, kind of resting up for this game. And Lakers came out. Not only did they win, but it was like total devastation of the Celtics. Tell me what went so wrong for the Celtics last night.
Well, first, listen, I want to get to something else before we do that.
Okay.
So let's take care of a little bit of business before we talk about the Lakers.
All right. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. All right. If you're just getting here, Browner has just told us that before we talk Lakers Celtics, he got a little something he got to talk about. I'm curious.
If you are looking at Jerks and Profar getting $42 million.
Oh, we're going in a completely different direction.
Yeah, no. Because I keep seeing this, and this is a very active part of our chat right now. In spots, if they don't have $42 million over 3 years, it's over. It's over. And they probably could have got him for less than that, just off the quote unquote vibes. Like you could have played the heartstring situation. Hey man, we got 40 for you over 3 because we signed you. We gave you the opportunity. You became an all-star with us. Your development happened with us. You reached your peak performance with us. You probably could have leaned on him like that and gotten his ear and gotten to take a couple less million to stay here. Because again, I'd rather live here than Atlanta. No disrespect to Atlanta, the black capital of America. But if they weren't even in the running for it,
well,
what are we doing?
I mean, back up a little bit further. You ready? Back up a little further. So when Jurickson Profar came to the Padres last year on a $1 million contract, part of the storyline was that AJ Preller, who really scouted him in the early part of his career when he was, top overall pick, and he was considered like the top prospect in baseball in the early parts of Jurickson Profar's career. It was AJ Preller who had scouted him, drafted him, and had him when he was considered the number one prospect in baseball. This is the way the story went last year. It was a success story. AJ had him on his radar. AJ brought him into the Padres. Profar wanted to come to the Padres. Profar wanted to pay off the Preller's the support that Preller had, the belief that Preller had in him. And last year, Jurickson Profar had an incredible year. I will just say this. It was a great year. It was a great first half. It was an okay second half. I don't remember Jurickson Profar being like as good in the latter part of the year as he was in the early part of the year when everybody was calling him MVP and all-star and all these other things.
Profar.
Right. He had gone up, and then he trended down quite, I go back and find all the numbers. But here's the thing. You can say that it's shocking that the Padres didn't have the money. I tend to agree. The fact of the matter is that they're in such a dysfunctional place right now because of the Scheel Seidler lawsuit. And I'm not blaming it all on Scheel. I'm just saying that her choice, her decision, and her timing has made any transaction impossible. And I don't mean impossible because players don't want to sign. Look, we saw what Sasaki said. Sasaki said, I chose the Dodgers because their front office has stability. That was a shot at the Padres. We all get it. But it's not that Profar wants to leave because of the front office upheaval. It's because there's no business happening right now for the Padres.
None.
They're closed for business. Some franchises are open for business. The Padres are closed for business. And here's where, if I were a season ticket holder, here's where I'd be pissed. You raised my prices and you lowered the value.
Yes.
You see, last year when you raised your prices, you actually increased the value. So if I have a $200 ticket, I can sell it for $300 or $400 because everybody wants to go. Now I have the same ticket as last year. It's no longer $200. Now it's $240. But guess what? Instead of it being worth $400, that $240 ticket is going to be worth $100 if you can get $100. Point is, they raised prices. They didn't raise the level of the roster. So you paid more and your tickets are worth less. Last year, you paid less than and the tickets were worth more. You say it's over. I'm telling you right now, Padre fans, get ready. Because this is not a 1-year problem or a 2-year problem. This is a multi-year problem going into the future unless somebody really, really rich buys the Padres and wants to do what Peter Seidler was doing, which is use his money to compete with the Dodgers. Because the organization, Padres versus Dodgers, it's like the number one team versus like an single A team financially.
I will say I'll also comment by saying this. This asset is depreciating before your very eyes. I mean, right in front of you. If I mean, just from a team chemistry standpoint, having him around seemed to have worked just for the energy in the clubhouse. In addition to that, don't be shocked if we start seeing some of the Padre players' names that like Manny Machado, and others come up in trades, and the Padres are like, well, we'll pay half the salary. Because that's the only way you're going to shake some of these deals is to be, we'll pay 30% of it, we'll pay 40% of it. Because they're going to have to get this off their books. If you mean to tell me they ain't got $42 million for Jerks and Profar, congratulations for him to get his money.
Dude, they don't have 42 million. They don't have 42. They literally do not have any money right now to go out and spend because they are stuck right now. And so here's the deal. If you think that Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts and Fernando Tatis and Jake Cronenworth and Yu Darvish and whatever else they bring back to this pitching staff, you know what I mean? Dylan Cease, if you think that's enough to compete, it's probably enough to be a 500 type ball club. Here's where I can't wait to see what happens. Just wait until Manny loses his what.
Ooh.
Wait until Manny Machado decides he's no longer happy being a San Diego Padre. Because a year ago, Manny Machado is very happy being a San Diego Padre. They're spending money. They're keeping up with the Dodgers. Manny Machado now has his face and his name associated with the new San Diego Football Club, the new MLS team. Wait until Manny Machado is not happy with the organization because of all the dysfunction and because they're closed for business. Then wait and see what happens. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan and Crew. I'm telling you, man, bro. I'm actually glad, Browner, you brought that up. I was about to talk Lakers Celtics, which I was there last night. It was fun.
Right.
Lakers blew them out, which was surprising. I thought they'd win, but I didn't think they'd do that. But I'm glad you brought us into that Profar conversation because again, if I'm a season ticket holder for the Padres and I've already paid my money, I'm pissed.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed. You got to talk to me. Y'all need to send out an email saying that we are actively involved in talks with this player. Y'all got to start lying to me ASAP because this is bad. This is bad. Like, there's nobody even really. There's some people in the trade. Like, I saw it on the internet. There was a rumor that they were trying to trade for Vlad Guerrero Jr. And I'm like, yeah, for a year, and then what? Because he's going to need to get paid too. And he's going to get that Manny level money. So this is something I did not foresee coming at Peter's passing. I didn't think that they would be this cash poor. I knew that things would change to a certain degree because anytime a new voice comes into the room, they kind of want to put their imprint on it. But this is like a closing sale.
It's funny. I was talking to a buddy of mine last night. A friend of mine and I went to this Laker game last night. He was telling me the story that he bought season tickets for the new MLS team that's going to kick off here in San Diego in early March. And I said, what had you buy season tickets for that? And he said, I bought season tickets for the Padres. I had such a great time last year as a season ticket holder. If I didn't go, I gave the tickets to my son. If he didn't go, I gave the tickets to other friends. If I didn't have anybody that was going, I could put them in the marketplace. I could sell them. I could always make more than what I bought them for. He's like, so I really enjoyed being a Padre season ticket holder. So I thought to myself, why don't I buy season tickets for the MLS team? And let's see what happens. When he bought these tickets for the MLS team, it was like a multi-year contract. It wasn't like you were just buying this season. You had to actually buy multiple seasons. How much for season tickets for the MLS team? Take a guess. 2 tickets. 2 tickets.
Okay. Probably 10 grand.
15 grand. 15.
And it's multiple seasons, yeah?
No, 1 season. But he had to sign a contract for multiple seasons. Season 1, $15,000 for 2 tickets Each ticket he said he thought was like $380 per ticket. You imagine? Listen, you're buying the 50-yard line. You're buying the nice seats with the comfy backs. You're having the access to the food and beverage. It's a $15,000 investment into the new San Diego soccer team. And I said, well, geez, man, that's kind of a lot of money for a sport that you're not even sure you're going to like.
It's and for a league, you don't even know what the team look like.
Right. For a league that you've never followed before. And he said, yeah, but I thought about the Padres and how much fun I had. And then he said to me, he goes, but man, let me tell you something. I got these Padres season tickets for this upcoming season, and I am freaking furious about it. Because they increased the prices on the season tickets, but they've decreased the value. They've decreased the payroll of the team, making most people think, based on what the Dodgers have done, the Padres just won't be able to compete. So, and here's the thing. I know a lot of people love Sheil Seidler, and she may be the sweetest, most beautiful person on planet Earth. Okay. My interactions with her have been, she's really sweet. Okay. And she's Peter's wife, and she's the mother of Peter's kids. So I want to see good because I loved Peter. What she has done here, you can be on her side all you want. I'm not on her side. I'm not on their side. I don't know who's right and I don't know who's wrong. But here's what I do know. Her filing that lawsuit, when she did it, with the accusations, you can say, hey, they said something racist to her. They called her this because she's Indian. Okay, maybe it's true. Okay, it's in the filing.
Right.
Okay,
and they didn't deny it.
Yeah, there seems to be an admission of it, Okay, but okay, so at worst, one of the members of the family has made a racist statement to her. But from a baseball business perspective, her suing the brothers and this turning into a public feud and the threat that they're going to sell and leave, which, by the way, was so stupid.
So dumb.
Sell the team? Possible. Should. But move the team? Girl, that ain't even on the table. You got the best ballpark in baseball. You got an entire city right there that loves you. You got more passion and more money that's ever been generated by this organization. Selling? Should. Moving? Not really something we should be talking about. And that's why her lawsuit looks so frivolous. So again, I'm not on Sheil's side, and I'm not on the brother's side. I'm on the side of the fan base that had an expectation that this team would be competitive, and her suing them and doing it when she did it, it's going to kill this organization, at least in the short term. It's Kaplan and crew in this. All right, everybody. Hey, it's Friday. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. Hey, is Alex Moneyline Monaco coming on in this segment, Brown? Do you know?
Toward the end of it, he's due here at 11:30.
Is this segment 4?
Yes.
Oh man, we're early then, I guess, huh?
Yes, we are very early. When there are no more 2-minute commercials in between every segment, we make up a lot of time.
We do. Let me just text him and let him know that we are ready for him.
Yeah.
So anyway, listen, Alex Moneyline Monaco will be here. He's going to pick both games for us this weekend, the NFC Championship game and the AFC Championship game. As a matter of fact, Brown, before we get to it, just really quickly, just give me your opinion. I assume you were watching last night, Lakers Celtics.
Yeah, of course.
What'd you think? I mean, what happened last night? I mean, like Anthony Davis was excellent, LeBron was excellent. Austin Reeves was really solid. They got good contributions from guys that maybe don't necessarily always contribute. So, but on the other hand, what happened to the Celtics? Was it a 3-point shooting thing, or what's your thought on what happened last night?
Sometimes the NBA schedule can beat you. And that's what happened at the Celtics. The NBA schedule has beat the Celtics. The Celtics are in the point where they're coming close to the All-Star break. They're not firing on all cylinders. Like, they're looking toward the All-Star break to get some time off. Second night of a back-to-back. Jason Tatum had no legs in the first half, which I don't know how that works. Normally you don't have any legs in the second half, but it seems like he was busy before the game. They just didn't look ready. They looked tired. And I'm going to say this, they looked like they didn't care that they were playing the Lakers. That's what it looked like to me. Now, kudos to the Lakers for making them care by beating the pants off of them. But the Celtics went in there and was like, yeah, whatever. We're going to the playoffs. Well, I don't know where y'all going. We hooping. So I just kind of looking at that for last night. That's what I took away from it. I didn't necessarily think that the Lakers did something crazy. I think I'm more disappointed in the Lakers from their offensive sets because I thought J.J. Redick would make them look sharper. He would make them look sleeker. He would make them look like they have a plan. They look like when Darvin Ham coached them. It's a lot of isolation basketball. It's a lot of you take your guy until it's Austin Reeves coming off a couple of picks. Like this is not the schematic advantage I thought J.J. Redick would actually bring to the team. So I don't really know what I'm watching. So LeBron's trying harder, AD's trying harder. That's literally what it looks like. They don't look to have some schematic advantage. If LeBron had the tall white guy on him,
Porzingis?
Cornette.
Oh, uh-huh.
If he had Cornette on him, he's going to the basket. If he had Peyton Pritchard on him, he posted him up. Like, this wasn't like it was. I don't know, man. Their offense doesn't look good at all. It looks dependent on LeBron James and Anthony Davis like Darvin Ham's did. So good luck with that.
All right. Well, listen, I'm seeing what's going on here in our live YouTube chat. Shout out to my boy Beto Duran. He says, come on, Cap. You could have called me today to pinch hit. I'm ready to be part of the Cappy Cast. So
who said that?
Beto Duran.
Oh.
He's feeling like, Alex isn't here and like, un mexicano hermano para un mexicano hermano. See?
Listen, I don't know if anything you saying is actually real words because I don't speak Spanish. So, all right, cool. Don't know.
All right, very cool. All right, well, we'll see what happens. Beto, you're welcome to jump in at any time. I can tell you that right now. Always welcome around here. I'm sure that Browner and you could go round and round and round talking Laker basketball and what happened last night. We'll say this, though. It was a fun night. It was a great night there at crypto.com. I was talking about this on the air the other day. Browner, I don't know if you've been up there since they closed what was Chick Hearn Way, which was the road that separated LA Live from crypto.com. And so they got rid of the road in between, and now it's just like one big walking courtyard. And last night, it's great. Last night I did a video on TikTok, and now that TikTok's back, I'm like, okay, because I put certain stuff on TikTok, I put other stuff on Instagram, I put different kind of stuff on Twitter, depending on the platform that determines what kind of content I do. So last night I was walking around in the this LA Live courtyard area. And I'm showing everybody like what I had been talking about on the radio, which was this new expanded kind of walking courtyard in between the two. So there's no longer a road. And I'll tell you right now, I don't get it. I don't know exactly how TikTok works, but it's like 10 times the number of views that every other video I got.
The algorithm.
Well, what is the algorithm doing? Is it saying, hey, you mentioned Lakers, LA? What's the algorithm doing?
So the reason why Twitter blew up as quick as it did and Instagram blew up as quick as it did because they allowed people to actually see stuff. You could actually see stuff in your general area. Like the algorithm can show you first what's around you and then branch out. Or it could show you the likes that you have, or the when you first sign up for the app, hey, do you like finance? Do you like stock? Do you like cars? Do you like painting? They roll all that up. But if you're in LA Live and you're in the vicinity of 1,000 phones, TikTok's like, hey, you get to these 1,000 phones first. And then that's how you get more views there. And then the hashtags and things of that nature.
Oh, because like I did this one last night and there's like 4,700 views, which I don't think is a lot. But previous to that, I did a video on New Year's Eve, 560 views. Previous to that, I did something around Christmas time, 600 views. When we were out on our cruise with everybody, with all the great friends, 700 views. A couple of NFL sidelines, 900 views. But yet, when I did something at LA Live, this is when the guy fell on the ice right in front of me on my video, over 1,000 views. Everything, the Eiffel Tower, less than 1,000 views. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is.
It's on TikTok in particular because, again, TikTok is great at exposing your content to other people on TikTok. Facebook is terrible at that now. X or Twitter is awful at it. They tell you what they want you to see. So the algorithm is changing a lot in social media, and it's either hurting or helping, and that's why everybody's flocking to TikTok now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was only flocking to TikTok because of all the rumors or all the expectations that it was going to be canceled. So like I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to get in on this thing here at the end. And then when it was really getting canceled, I was like, okay, no big deal. And then when they brought it back, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go and put something out there.
Apparently people are buying phones that have TikTok on them because apparently it's hard to get it now because of the App Store doesn't have it in there anymore. And it's going to take a while for them to get it back in there. So people are buying phones that have TikTok in them off of other people.
Right. I read that yesterday that the people were willing to pay. I couldn't believe when I read this, and I don't believe it to this day.
You could come get mine, whoever you are.
Right.
Come get it.
If you're willing to pay $58,000 for an iPhone that has TikTok already installed and you can log out of them. Yeah, you log out of my TikTok and you can get into your TikTok. I'll sell you my phone right now for $60,000, no problem.
Bruh, you could even keep the nasty pictures I got in here.
In fact,
I won't delete nothing.
I'm going to use those nasty pictures as a way to get you to buy my phone for $60,000.
I ain't delete nothing. You can just have it.
Wait till you see the stuff I got in my phone.
You feel me? Wait till you find out what's in that hidden folder.
Yeah.
I ain't erasing nothing. It's all yours.
You can have it all. By the way, I'm seeing a lot of people talking about going to Torrey Pines over the course of tomorrow, the final round. I usually always go. I may go tomorrow afternoon. I gotta see if I can pull it off tomorrow. See if I can get out there. So if anybody's going out to Torrey Pines, I'm also kind of curious to see what happens when the Genesis moves from Riviera down to Torrey Pines, just because they had to move because of the LA fires. So Torrey Pines is going to host like practically back-to-back PGA Tour events. Just one's called the Farmers and one's called the Genesis. So, all right, let me do this. How much time do we have in this segment, Brown?
25 seconds.
Okay, great. Alex Monaco will join us then next. Moneyline Monaco, the San Diego kid who hit the big home run in New York City. And I can't wait to hear what Moneyline Monaco says about the AFC and NFC championship games. Hey, this weekend, you're talking about buying a new house or selling a house. Talk to my guy, Gary Cooper, 858-376-1299. Never make a move in real estate without first talking to Gary. All right. Are we good to talk to Moneyline Monaco?
Yeah, he looked ready.
Yeah, he does look ready. Let's bring him in. Here he is. Wait a second. There he is.
You go.
What's up?
Oh, you guys got me?
Yeah, what's up, Alex?
Yeah, we got you.
Hey, back from the Jordan flu game, minus the Jordan championship opportunity. Back to the show. Healthy and happy to be here.
Hey, dude, I hear. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, yesterday morning. He's a doctor. He's an ER doc, and he said that the flu is like worse this year than it's been in years. And he says everybody's getting it. So Browner's got it right now, even though Iron Man is here at work.
I'm dying.
Let's go, Browner. All dog. Showing up like Cronenworth. Rain, sleet, or snow.
All day.
Hey, speaking of Cronenworth, since you have a comment about the Padres, Profar leaves yesterday. I'm going to say this right now. $1 million, he was awesome. 12 or $13 million, I don't really see it myself. But to Browner's point, he was always, they called him the vibes guy. So maybe I'm not saying because you're a vibes guy, you're worth 12 or $13 million, but like I think Padre fans are just more pissed because nothing good is happening. Everything that's happening is bad. And then, of course, you've got this big, blow up amongst the family, which makes everything look worse. Alex, you're in New York, but you're a Padre fan. What do you think?
It's a Schwitz fest going on over there in Ron Burgundy land. It's a Schwitz fest. It's kind of a weird time. I mean, I got so upset with all those Dodgers acquisitions last week. But yeah, to lose a vibes guy, you don't want to lose a vibes guy. We knew when like Soto came in on a pitch count, mobbed out, we were ultimately losing a star. Not a vibes guy, vital to that Padres locker room. You look at losing a guy like Profar, it does sting a little different because if he's making Tatis happy and our star stays happy because of the vibes guy, now we're Larry David working backwards and we are missing out on a big piece.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I think a friend of mine literally just texted me, and this is a guy who last year had awesome season tickets. Browner, you went there up in the Western Metals building. Remember my buddy David?
Very nice. Yeah,
those are great seats. Food is good. Bar is right there, etc. He told me that Padres have really good seats that are opening up. I'm not surprised. He says we can move to row 3 on the first base side, a little bit past first base. All the food and beverage, all included in the price. And he's contemplating going from the Western Metals building out in left field to like field level right down the first base line. And I'm thinking to myself, why would I want to spend more with the Padres when the Padres are spending less on their team? And the excitement that you bought last year, it's not going to be the same going forward. You're not going to have sold out nights on Tuesdays when the Rockies are in town. Last year you did. I don't think
Scott,
this year you will.
Do you think the Padres identity-wise, because it's a no salary cap league, are trying to sit there in the cafeteria and be like, do I want to sit at the Dodgers, Yankees, Mets table for real? Or do I want to go sit with the Brewers and, the Cubs and the Guardians and, teams that play above average ball, but aren't at that table?
How did you phrase the beginning of the question?
Just like you're walking through, I always talk, because I talk about the hierarchy cafeteria games, like, Jared Goff's going to beat Sam Darnold because Jared Goff's a senior on campus in the NFC North and Darnold's a sophomore, yada, yada. So it's like Dodgers, bless you, are sitting at a table with the Yankees and the Mets as seniors on campus. They're the big dogs on campus. They spend the most. They have the most stars. They are who they are. The Padres, come on. I grew up with Peavy and Adrian Gonzalez, and I'm fired up for 2 lads. Now you got to have 6, 7, 8 guys paid top dollar. And the Padres have not made the decision. Do they want to do that or do they not? And that's kind of where we are.
No, they've made the decision. The decision's made.
It was made for them.
Yeah, they didn't make it. It was made for them is right. And by the way, shout out to Jake Peavy and shout out to Adrian Gonzalez, who both went into the San Diego Hall of Champions last week. And, I flexed on Browner yesterday, Alex. I was working out at Adrian Gonzalez's house yesterday morning. So I work out with Adrian when I'm in LA. And I'm so happy for him and Jake that they both went into the Hall of Champions. All right, let me do this.
Yeah.
Alex Moneyline Monaco in New York City, MSG Network. I'm sure everybody in New York is like everybody here, which is we're waiting for your picks for this weekend. And I'd have to go back to my notes. I got to grab my notes from last week. I don't remember. How'd you do last week? Do you recall?
Last week, so I did did pretty well. The only thing I really sorely got incorrect was Ravens money line. I had the dogs with the points on the other 3 games. So I had the Texans. I had a little good beat there on the safety because I got the Texans at 9.5. So I guess on the podcast, we'll call it an L because Texans was 8.5. But in my world, I'm betting 8.5, 9, and 9.5. So I went 1-1-1 like a good old Premier League match, top of the table with it. And then, I took the Commanders with the points, took the Ravens to win. And here we are with the Rams plus 6.5. Was the side I was on with that one.
Okay, so let's just jump right into the games this weekend, Alex. The Commanders at the Eagles, and it seems like the whole world, at least it feels this way to me, like everybody is kind of on that Washington bandwagon right now. Philadelphia is a 6-point favorite at home. The thing about this game is that these teams see each other. They're in the same division. They pretty much know each other.
Yeah.
If you're using your cafeteria analogy, the Eagles are sitting at the big boy table, and Washington is trying to get to the big boy table, but they're a freshman, and the Eagles are a ripe senior.
Yep.
So
I got you on that spot, Scott. Not to interject, but divisional rematches have literally only happened 4 times in 2 decades in this spot. And 4-0, the favorite is 3-1 against the spread, which would be Philly. The last one was Rams-Niners 3 years ago. Underdog Niners covered. The only against the spread of the 4 instances we've seen this in the last 2 decades.
So, okay. So with that being said, then the numbers would support taking the Eagles.
That's correct. And you're starting to see now, to your point, the public's coming in. If you're looking at splits here, where's the money? Where's the ticket percentage? They're starting to get emotional here and ride with the kid. And again, just historically, we're talking about a spot that no man has ever climbed. There's never been a rookie in the Super Bowl. There's been 5 previous instances, 5 L's, 1 Sean King pre-iPhone backdoor cover for rookies in championship games. That's it. So you're bucking up history, just whether you're going Buffalo or you're going Commanders on both sides here. 3-peat or new kid on the block.
By the way, Alex Moneyline Monaco is here on Kaplan and Crew. We're in the 7 Mile Casino studios. It's Friday, and Darth Navarro in Temecula is saying in the live YouTube chat, Moneyline today looking like Alex Wall Street Monaco. Not Moneyline Monaco. He looking like Wall Street Monaco today.
Shout out to Temecula. Hey, great little golf course to cruise over, grab a beverage, play with the boys, little par 3. Shout out to Temecula. Great baseball over there as well. Much love.
So should I assume then that you're sticking with the numbers and you're going to take Philadelphia to cover the 6?
I actually am going the stands opposite. I am rocking with the points. A couple other things here to just factor in. We got Washington on an extra day of rest. Also, when we talk Kansas City, they have a 1-day rest advantage. Does that matter? Oh, wait till you hear the Kansas City numbers. But we're talking about a banged up Hurts. You know, I live in the sports betting community. Prop, undervalued, underrated prop on the board is Washington Commanders sacks. But again, to push back on that, this is not an engine that runs on Jalen Hurts. This is Saquads and the boys. I mean, if you look at the 2 dances, it very much leans home field advantage. And just to say out loud, a team going into the link in that environment, nobody comes out alive. It just doesn't happen. So I do have Philly to win. I got to take the points just on that note real quick. Washington's been in this spot as dogs 8 times on the year. They got 5 outright wins. Of course, we have the rest advantage, but we're talking about Jaden Daniels. The guy doesn't turn the ball over. He has no interceptions, no punts. You take that stat. Don't know if you guys saw that viral stat. He's got more no-game punts, no interception games than Mahomes, Manning, Montana, and Brady combined. So we're now talking about an anomaly, a unicorn, a Charizard when we thought he was still Charmander. I mean, he's evolving in front of our eyes, and there's something to the house money thing. They're over their pay grade. They got nothing to lose. The whole weight of the world's on Philly. That's why I got Washington to cover, Philly to win.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any pressure on them to win.
None.
None at all. And the way that Philadelphia has had so much public turmoil, whether guys are reading books, whether Jalen Hurts is mad at the coach this week or next week, like Saquon saved the image of that team. He made them likable in a sense because they felt very rigid and very, standoffish to each other, which made the public kind of standoffish to them. So I think that they're going to be under so much pressure. Jalen Hurts is going to feel the need to pass to prove that he's okay. And I think that's where this is going to be their downfall, man. I like the Commanders in this game. And if I get points with that, I'm dancing.
They're the best cover in the league, gentlemen. They're 12-6-1 against the spread. They are the best against the spread team in the NFL.
Darth Navarro would like to ask you via the live YouTube chat, Alex, what is the over-under on the Philadelphia mayor learning how to spell Eagles?
Bad.
That was fine.
Over-under. G-L-E-S. Eggless. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Eggless.
Alex, okay, so you're going to take Washington to cover. Yep. You do think Philadelphia is going to win, but who cares who wins? Let's only talk about the cover because we all want to win the money. On the other side, Buffalo, I think, is America's sweetheart right now because people would like to see the Chiefs fall. But I mean, Buffalo won, but how much did Baltimore contribute to Buffalo winning?
Baltimore beat themselves. We know this.
Yep.
You've seen too much ball, Scott. I mean, Baltimore tried to get cute. I'm sick that D. Henry got less than 20 carries. I just don't want to hear any defense of it. And here we are. Just another botched offensive game plan for Baltimore 2 years in a row. And they beat themselves.
So with that said, I'm going to guess here then that you probably don't have that much confidence in Buffalo to go on the road and take down the Chiefs, who are, in their 7th straight AFC championship game.
Give me the Chiefs. We're now talking about such an emotional betting world right now. The public is on Buffalo. Oh, dear Lord. Now the books need the Chiefs. Do not tell us in the betting world, if you're sharp, that the public's starting to lean Buffalo. And I just came off the Better Half Hour on MSG Networks. We're sponsored by BetMGM. I got the splits live. You got only 39% of bets, but 48% of money on the Chiefs to cover the 1.5. That's music to your ears if you like the Chiefs. You want more money on that side than tickets. You got public money. Again, it was at 2. Now it's at 1.5 again. You got people emotionally reacting when, let me just read the numbers. Mahomes, 7-0 straight up and against the spread when he's an underdog or a favorite of less than a field goal. Also, on his career, he's 27-9-1 against the spread. You've heard me on the show throughout this season. When Mahomes is laying more than 3.5, we're off it. Bengals +6 at Arrowhead, Chargers +7, yada, yada. When he's laying 2.5, 2, 1.5, or a dog, you back him till the wheels fall off. Secondarily, at home, November or later, 40 degrees or less, 23-2 straight up. Those 2 L's. Phillip Rivers in 2018 and Tommy Tampa in 2019 when he was still a Patriot. I don't know how, with a 1-day rest advantage, as I mentioned, and 2 of the last 3 against Buffalo in the playoffs, Buffalo had the rest advantage. Are we going to be out of our mind and fade Mr. Fumble Rooski here? I hate to do it. I'm buying into the conspiracies. Give me the refs. Give me the Chiefs. And let me side with Vegas.
Alex Monaco in New York City, and he's got the Chiefs and he's got the Commanders in this week's championship games. Again, to cover for the Commanders, and Chiefs are giving 1. That's it. 1 point favorite because everybody's betting on Buffalo. I like it. I do. Alex, we'll talk to you next week, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, boys. Feel better, Browner.
I'll try.
All right, he's out of here. I don't know what our clock is. I'm so lost right now.
The show's over. The show's over.
It is?
Yes, the show's over.
Okay. Well, the radio portion on Sirius is over.
Yeah. Our Sirius affiliation ended 47 seconds ago.
Okay. All right. Well, then in that case,
my
here's
medication's wearing off. I'm coughing like shit up in here.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change my TV monitor. I'm
Okay,
gonna
hold on.
change.
Let me help you.
Thank you. All right, thanks, man. Appreciate that. All right.
Yep.
No, I'm good. I'm back. I'm ready to go.
News. All right.
Yeah, you don't need to see me do that.
We got breaking news. The Texans fired their offensive coordinator. So hold on, Cowboys.
Wait a second. The Texans fired their offensive coordinator?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. I'll take a look at that real quick.
Bobby Slowick.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why. I mean, I'm not saying that, they were great this year offensively, but
at the end of last year, he was a hot candidate. He was Ben Johnson last year.
Really?
Because of what happened with C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
His rookie year.
Yeah. Yeah,
now,
you're probably right.
Looking for work. Another thing, another little breaking story. There's a report that the Ohio State wide receiver Jeremiah Smith has been offered $4.5 million to enter the transfer portal. What the hell is going on with college football?
I wonder who's offered him that kind of money.
Ohio State got that money, though.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all just came off a natty. Y'all got that money.
That's interesting. Wow. Okay. So, listen, if I were that kid and you just won a national championship at Ohio State and you've got 2 years before you can hit the NFL, I go make as much money as I can make. And if Ohio State wants to keep me, pay me. And if you don't, I'll go somewhere else.
I agree.
I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it because I think it sucks for college football because, guys are, leaving every year. I mean, literally 1 year free agents,
literally 1 year. Literally.
Right. In the NFL, it doesn't really work like that. Usually you sign a contract, you're there a couple of years, and then you hit free agency. In college, you got 1 year because, you got finite amount of time. This is interesting about the Texans firing their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, this is crazy to me. It's crazy. They were one of the up-and-coming teams. They make the playoffs in back-to-back years, won a game. I don't really understand why you would fire the offensive coordinator unless something really went wrong between him and the quarterback.
I wonder what's going on with Pete and Pete putting together a coaching staff. I wonder about that. Like what Pete already has kind of in mind for a coaching staff.
If I'm Pete, I know who my first call is now to.
Who's that?
Bobby Slowick.
Why is that?
Last year was in the league, had the productive offense 2 years in a row. If Tank Dell doesn't get hurt, and if the other wide receiver who's skipping my brain right now doesn't get hurt, the Texans have one of the best offenses in the NFL. That's why the firing is puzzling. But
I'm looking here. Houston also fired their offensive line coach and their assistant offensive line coach.
They blew everybody out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Don't forget the Texans were a terrible organization before they hired their current coach and drafted the quarterback. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, listen, it's so interesting the way all this movement happens. I personally love it. Browner, what do you think as we get into prize picks? I'm going to give everybody my prize picks, and I'm going to tell everybody that I really want your prize picks too, because we're down to now 3 football games left in the NFL season: AFC, NFC, and Super Bowl, and I'm loaded and I'm ready to go. I've waited for all this time. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to do exactly what Moneyline Monaco said, unless, by the way, I hear from Dado different. That the guaranteed play from 6 score is different. I have not found out what the guaranteed play from 6 score is. So remember, if you go to Sports Injury Central, 6score.com, you can find out what is the guaranteed play. You buy the picks for $50. It comes with all the NBA picks. And then if they hit, you're good. And if they don't, they pay you your money back. So I'm going to give you my prize picks for the weekend. I've only made 2 so far, one for the AFC, one for the NFC, but I'm open, by the way. I'm totally open if you guys have any great ideas. Darth Navarro, JDD Ocampo, Joseph Cabral, Tommy, whoever is out there who's making their picks on prize picks this weekend, send them my way. Okay. Download the prize picks app, use the code Great Friends, make a $5 play, get a $50 bonus. Take advantage of that Jaden Daniels free square, right?
Remember, it's Friday, so make sure y'all hit that Flex Friday and build your lineup based out of that Flex Friday, because if you go over, they return your cash to you, kind of like a guaranteed bet.
Let me tell you what I've got so far, and tell me if you like what I got. So here goes. And I want to start off with the NFC game. So hold on. Let me just back up here for a second. Okay. In the NFC game, which is the early game on Sunday, here's how I've decided to play it. I took Jaden Daniels for the half of a passing yard. So that's a free square. I'll take that one.
Obviously.
I've got Saquon Barkley on a goblin play.
Ooh.
For more than half of a rushing or receiving touchdown. He's going to score a touchdown, right?
Well, if he don't, oh boy.
Yeah. I've got Terry McLaurin from Washington on a demon play for more than half of a rushing or receiving touchdown. Terry McLaurin, if Washington's going to win, he got to score, I think.
I think I could see them winning without him scoring, but okay.
And I know this one is not going to be popular for everybody, but I took Jake Elliott, the Philadelphia kicker, on a demon play to have more than 1.5 field goals made. What do you think about that?
I like that.
He was 3 for 3 last week on field goals, but he missed those 2 extra points, which is what cost everybody who had Philadelphia to cover over the Rams.
So I think there's going to be some field goals in this game as well. So I like that bet.
I've got a 4-pick flex play. It's $20 to win $100. Jaden Daniels more than half a passing yards. That's a free square. Saquon for more than half of a rushing touchdown. McLaurin for half of a rushing or receiving touchdown. And Jake Elliott for more than 1.5 field goals. So that's my NFC side. Now, are you playing both games together, or are you playing like game for game? How are you going to do it?
Oh, no. I tend to do both my games together. That way it heightens the picks I need to get right. So instead of getting 6 right twice, I just need to get 3 right from each game, and that really helps me when it comes to putting it on for things like this.
All right, here comes my AFC side. You ready? Tell me what you think.
Give it to me.
Travis Kelce, more than 70.5 receiving yards.
I don't like that this week.
Okay. Josh Allen, more than half of a rushing or receiving touchdown. I presume he's going to score a touchdown.
Love that.
Buffalo wide receiver Curtis Samuel, more than 15.5 receiving yards.
Ooh, okay. You could talk me into that.
Dawson Knox, Buffalo tight end, more than 16.5 receiving yards. So these are smaller numbers that, one play can make this happen. So I'm in on that. Yeah. You got to go less somewhere. Kansas City tight end Noah Gray, less than 15.5 receiving yards.
The problem is he'll catch 1 pass for 20 yards, and that's all he did the whole game.
Or he'll catch 1 touchdown pass for 11 yards, and he might only do that for one game, for the whole game.
Right.
And I'm taking Patrick Mahomes for more than 254.5 passing yards.
Ooh.
It's a 20. Listen, it's a 6-pick flex play, $20 to pay $320.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to say. You've heard my picks. I'll put them out on social media. The NFC one is probably already out there. So here's what I'm going to say to everybody. If you're playing Prize Picks, and by the way, if you haven't downloaded the app, download Prize Picks, use the code GREATFRIENDS, make a $5 play, get a $50 bonus, and take advantage of that Jaden Daniels free square. If you're playing Prize Picks, hit the share your lineup button and send it to me. It could be on Twitter. If you have my phone number, which most of you do, text me. Okay. I want to know what your picks are. That's what I want. And I'll play your picks all weekend long.
Well, he'll play your picks.
Right.
He'll play your picks. Let him play your picks.
Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code GREATFRIENDS. Make that $5 play. Get that $50 bonus. All right.
Run your game.
Final thoughts, man. Final thoughts of the week. What do you have to say, Browner, as we go into the weekend? What's your final thought of the week?
I survived this couple of days. My medication's running off because my nose is running, as you can probably clearly see here on the show.
Doesn't it suck when there's nowhere to hide?
Man, listen, I made it, but it's showing.
Yeah,
it's showing.
Yeah. My final thoughts are: I also made it. I was last week looking at this week on my calendar, and I was stressed the fuck out. Because like just to give you guys an example of I know everybody's busy. I'm not trying to make myself sound busier.
Right.
But like yesterday, for example, I got off the air. I had a board meeting for Cited at 1:00. You got to understand, when you have a board meeting with people who have put money into your company, who are sort of your advisors to your company, it's a stressful thing because you got to be prepared. You got to have financial information. You've got to tell them the product, roadmap. You got to tell them what's going well with the company, what's not going well with the company. I mean, it's a real thing, And so I had this board meeting in the middle of the day yesterday. And then what was also stressing me out was that after the 7:10 show, so imagine this show, board meeting, next show, and then the game last night. And then I knew I was going to leave to drive home. Timing worked out perfectly. I left LA at 9:30. I was in bed by 11:30. So I was all stressed out. And my final thoughts as we get to the end of this week is, you know what, man, take a deep breath, breathe your way through it. Shit's all going to work out. It's all good. And when I say it's all good, what I mean is this: to all of our great friends, especially those of you that are down in the Otay area right now, right, East Lake and that whole area, hopefully the firefighter is going to take care of all this business, and hopefully some rain this weekend is going to help us. But if you're anywhere near the fires in San Diego, we saw what happened in LA. Just be careful, pack your shit, be ready to go. Don't wait till the last minute. Be prepared. That's sort of my last thought of the week. What do you think about that?
I like it. I echo the same sentiment. I hope everybody is safe from the fire, and I hope that safety to the firefighters and the people fighting the fire. And you just hope everybody makes it out okay, because we got a lot of people in the chat who were saying that they were on warning for the fire for evacuation. And it's difficult to leave everything behind, man. But remember, your life matters the most. You got the house in the first place. You can get another one. They can't get another you.
That's right. Hey, I want to say as we leave, Browner, outrageous job this week. Flu, personal issues with the kid in school, and having to produce, direct, and co-host. Great job by you, man. Appreciate you.
Do better, Adams Avenue. Do better.
Yeah, do better. Alex, I know you're probably watching somewhere. I hope that you have a great weekend with this wedding down in Texas, and then turn your ass around and get back to work. Okay. And here's a shout out for you, Browner. Shout out to my son, Justin, who many of you know since he's a little kid.
Shout out Rigby.
Justin's 24. And Justin moved home from Pittsburgh, and Justin is helping us with a lot of things having to do with the show, from sales and marketing to content and social media. And while Alex was out, Browner handled the producing and directing of the show. Justin was handling the content and was handling the social media posting of the show. So shout out to my son, Justin, for making a contribution this week. And I'll tell you guys, as a parent, I heard this: Dad, I've been trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm up at 6:30 in the morning preparing content for the show because I'm super passionate about it. I'm like, wow, that was exciting to hear. Dude. So I love that. I did.
Man. And he's in the right place, man. He's with somebody who's been in this industry for 2 decades, currently still going strong in it. He's got a great mentor. I hope he takes advantage of it.
Yeah, sadly, 3 decades. Hey, listen.
I was trying to give you some youth, brother, but you never take it.
I appreciate it. Hey, Miss Molly, I'm on the lookout for the package that you sent me this weekend. Appreciate you, girl. To everybody that's been watching, everybody that's been listening, you guys don't understand. Like, we've been looking at some of the data for the last month, the month of January.
Very good.
This is going to be our biggest month in a long, long time, compared to last summer, like when Padres, heat of the battle, our numbers were super high. Then they start to come down, like when the baseball season kind of ends, and then they start to come back up, and we're killing it in the month of January, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you so much to everybody, all of our partners, all of our listeners, all of our viewers. We appreciate all you guys. Be safe out there. Have a great weekend. We're back on Monday. Enjoy the football. Get to the Gaslamp Tavern. Go to 7 Mile Casino. Get that weed at Torrey Holistics. Call Gary Cooper. Download the Prize Picks app, and everything else. Get your new sunglasses from Blenders. Until Monday, peace out, everybody.